Hi, my name is Steven and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about how to pay better attention to things, tips on focusing more. In our fast-paced society, it is harder now more than ever to pay attention to the little things. With distractions coming at you a mile a minute, it is very challenging to focus on the important things in life. Reducing and mitigating distractions in life not only helps you to focus better, but also helps you to have inner peace. Attention is a finite resource, and we have to work hard to maintain it and keep it for our most important things in life. In my life, I've used the following tips and experiences to help me craft a more focused and productive lifestyle. So this video is really geared towards those who want strategies and tips on how to focus better, and focus more on the important things in life and get less distracted overall. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about my background, my tips on focusing more, and my general thoughts. And before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends, hit that notification bell if you like this content. And let's go! Generally, when I mean paying better attention, I'm talking about focusing more on whatever you're doing so that you complete it with the utmost attention to detail. And in particular, I'm talking about mitigating external and internal distractions that might cause you to lose focus. External distractions can be people texting you, emailing you, or just loud noises. Anything that really causes you to lose focus that is externally happening around you. And internal distractions can be things like anxiety, multitasking, or just wanting to check your social media. Things that you want to do that distracts from the work that you need to finish. This is about keeping attention and focusing on that one thing and completing it. It's easy to say that you can lock yourself in the room, complete your task, and be distraction free, but the reality is it's not that simple. You need habits and ecosystems in order for you to become distraction free. This means adapting long-term and short-term solutions on being distraction free, so that naturally over a long period of time you'll be able to take the lessons you learned and apply them naturally. So here are my tips on helping you keep focus. Number 1, eliminate all noise. When you are working on something that requires your utmost attention, eliminate as much noise as you can. This allows your mind to focus on what's in front of you, not any external noises. When you work in a noise-free environment, your brain no longer has to process all that noise, so you free up that part of your brain to just focus more on the thing and object you're interested in. I generally do this by seeking out places that are less noisy and work from there. Whether that's working from a quiet place in my home or finding a secluded spot around my office to work from. If it's still too noisy, then I use noise-canceling earbuds or headphones. And the other strategies that I use is to turn off the speakers from my computers and also silence my phone. Eliminating external noises is the easiest way to focus more. It helps by focusing our brain power to whatever we're working on, so that external distractions become less prevalent on our minds. So eliminating noise is the easiest way to focus more on whatever you're working on. Number 2, light up only what you need. So this means whenever possible, focus all the light to whatever you're focusing on, and dim or reduce the lighting in the rest of the room. So the point really is to make the brightest object in the room the focus of your attention. This way your brain has a large contrast between your object and the background. Just like the noise example, you're reducing your external stimulus from your eyes. A simple example of this is working on a brightly lit laptop in a dark room. Your attention is super focused on the lit screen and nothing else in the room. This allows the rest of the visual world to just drop out so that you're only focused on the computer screen. Because your eyes and your brain are always processing stuff around you, even when you don't really notice it. If you're in a coffee shop or a room with a lot of distractions, it can be taxing on the mind when you need to focus. Some people do well in those kinds of arenas and they don't lose as much focus, but not for me. I tend to want to focus on one thing only. So create an environment in which your sole focus of your eyes is on one object, so that the thing you're working on is in high contrast against the background. And ideally, you also want to be in a noiseless environment as well. Number 3, create distraction-free zones. The first 2 tips are really for short-term purposes only. This one is for long-term. When you want to have better focus for the long term, you gotta create a distraction-free zone. This means that you have to control the environment that you're in so that you can maximize your focus. The best example of this is to find a dedicated space or room to work in. Example of this are workshops, home studios, and home offices. This gives you more control over the environment and the conditions of those environments. For example, you can pad the room with noise-canceling foam, or you can have limits to who can enter your room in the first place. And also you can dedicate that room so it's communication free, so that you won't be disturbed while you're in it. I think for the modern age, these spaces are really critical to our well-being. This is because anything and everything can be a distraction and it creeps in little by little over time. and it's harder and harder to find places that are meant for peace and solitude. So to level up your focus and pay better attention, you have to find a space and environment that can accommodate that. So you can work there as distraction-free as possible. Note that depending on your current conditions, this might be out of reach for you in the short term, but definitely think about it for the long term, because eventually you might have the resources to afford that space for you to work in. Number 4, boring is focus. We all need to be bored, at least some part during our day. Being bored is very useful. It gives our mind a period to reset. A bored mind can reframe itself so that anything can be exciting, and doubly so for the things that you really need to focus on and pay better attention to. Because the important things in our lives can be quite boring and monotonous to complete. And if our mind is habituated to seek novel and exciting things all the time, then completing these tasks can be really difficult. In our constant online world, we have the ability to be entertained whenever we want. All we have to do is go online or watch Netflix. There is just no opportunity for us to be bored. We need to make ourselves bored so that we can regularly reset to a normal state. For me, this might mean a staycation every other week so that I can reset my mind. In that time, I try to limit my gaming, hanging out with friends, or just doing something exciting. And during the week, this might mean 2 or 3 days, I just limit my online and gaming activities, just focusing in on my hobbies or family. I came across this hack when I was on business travel for my work. And after long hours of work, I would basically have nothing to do in my hotel room. This led me to be really bored during my 1 or 2 week business trips. But as a result of this, I started to feel excited about other things that I usually wouldn't feel excited to work on. Some of the things that I was able to work on was to finish my work earlier, have long phone conversations with friends, and also process my feelings and emotions. Boredom basically allowed me to focus on different aspects of my life that I would not normally pay attention to. So a long-term solution to help you pay better attention in life is to create boredom regularly in your life. And through that, you'll be able to create excitement and focus on the things that you really want to get done in life. And number 5, constantly prune activities. Go through all the things that you regularly do and cut those that don't work for you anymore. These are things and activities that we aren't interested in, but we keep doing them out of habit. When you cut down on those activities, your mind can be less burdened overall. You'll be able to focus more on the activities and things that you really enjoy. Because for everything that we maintain in our lives, it takes up energy and space in our mind. And the more things that the mind has to focus on, the less focus that you'll be able to dedicate to any one thing. Anything and everything gets a dedicated space in our lives, and we just keep wanting to do more. Cutting the things that aren't really important to us helps us to take our attention and focus back. This means cutting back on TV shows, movies, or books that just aren't really good for us. And also hobbies, sports, and exercise classes that we're no longer interested in doing. By cutting all those frivolous things back, you are more able to focus on the important things in life. And it also helps you to maintain your sanity because you don't have to juggle all these things anymore. So for the long term, reducing the activities that you no longer need helps your mind focus more on things that's important to you. And as a side benefit, you also have more time to do other things in life. So now let's go through some of my general thoughts on paying better attention. Although I touched mainly on external distractions, internal distractions are very important to mitigate as well. And this is because it is harder to get rid of internal distractions compared to external ones. I'll make another video on this to focus in on mitigating internal distractions, because this does deserve specific tips and a deeper dive on the subject. And if these tips and strategies aren't really good for you, find your own method on how to focus better. When thinking of new methods to have more focus or pay better attention, focus on the external stimulus coming into you. Because the fact of the matter is, we get the best bang for our buck if we eliminate external stimulus coming into us. Things like audio, sight, and smells can be easily mitigated or reduced in our environment. And when we reduce our inputs into those senses, we are better able to focus on the things that we want to. Remember that the brain and the 5 senses are always on and are always processing things around you. And if you're in a very complex environment in which all 5 senses are triggering you, then your brain is going to be overloaded. And it'll be a challenge for you to focus in on that one thing that you need to get done. So those are my tips on how to stay focused and paying attention to what's important to you. As the world gets more distracted and noisy, we need these tips to focus now more than ever. Because it's really important to have good attention skills. Without it, it will be really hard to live our best life in the present. As someone who's immersed himself in tech and constant distractions, I know how much it can drain your attention. But I've crafted ways to work around my distractions. Although I'm not able to get rid of all the distractions around me, my tips and strategies have helped me become more focused and productive. So the main keys of this video are to create distraction-free zones, craft boredom in your life, and also prune activities that you no longer need. So thank you for watching. Please leave a comment down below on what you do to focus and how has that helped you. And I'll see you next time.